Howdy, stranger, outlaws, bandits. Today I'm bringing you two tales about family concerns. Hope to hear your opinions in the comments. As always, see you on the other side.
My life sucks. Alright, Reddit. I don't know where to begin with this one. My family is a total mess, and I just need a place to vent and get this off my chest. My dad, Homer, works at a nuclear power plant. He's been there for years, but honestly, I don't know how he keeps his job because he's incredibly lazy and downright incompetent most of the time. What makes it worse is how fat he is. I mean, seriously, he's like two people rolled into one. The guy eats constantly. Donuts, burgers, you name it, and never seems to care about his health. The worst part is that he doesn't really try to change. He just shrugs off my mom's concerns and keeps on chowing down. It's like he's addicted to food or something. He once got stuck in a water slide at a theme park because he was too big to go down properly. We had to wait for hours while the workers freed him. It was embarrassing as hell. And then there's my sister Lisa. God, where do I even start with her? She's this self-proclaimed genius who thinks she's better than everyone else just because she reads all the time and plays the saxophone. Don't get me wrong, she's smart, but she's also an entitled brat who can't seem to get along with anyone unless they share her interests. She's always going on and on about how meat is murder and how we should all be vegetarians like her. She even tried to sneak some tofu into our Thanksgiving dinner last year, and when no one ate it, she threw a fit and stormed out. She's constantly lecturing us about the environment and social justice issues, like she's some kind of mini activist. It's exhausting. Meanwhile, my mom, Marge, tries to keep the peace, but it's like she's the only sane one holding this crazy family together. She's overworked, always stressed out, and seems to be aging faster than anyone should because of the chaos we cause. As for me, well, I'm just trying to survive high school without losing my mind. My family's antics have made me a laughingstock at school more times than I can count. I've been called Fatso's son and Sister Snowflake's brother more than once, and it's not exactly doing wonders for my self-esteem. I guess I just needed to vent about my dysfunctional family somewhere. I love them, but man, sometimes it's just too much. How do you even deal with a dad who's this lazy and a sister who's this self-righteous?
Well, stranger, firstly, I would like to congratulate you with your storytelling methods. I really started to believe that you are Bart from The Simpsons. Obviously, dysfunctional families persist everywhere in the world. How you would be able to gather yourself from this chaos is, I know it may sound a little bit rude, but don't care. Just don't care. Unless they directly affect your life, you can't really change them. They are set in their own way. Unfortunately, with your dad, I do believe that this is some form of eating disorder, or he has too much on his mind and he's using excess eating as more of a coping mechanism than anything. With your sister, that's a little bit more tricky. So she's, I'm guessing, at that age where she's rebelling and she's trying to latch herself onto any form of just cause that she sees fit. Her being a vegan and being an activist, it's her choice. At the end of the day, you can't really do anything about it. You can make them aware that you don't find these things appropriate, or to you, it's a little bit different. Um, as I like to mention in most of my episodes, setting healthy boundaries is a really good thing to do, especially in these circumstances. So, you already have a major issue on your side because your mom is overworked because she's trying to keep the peace and the calm. Whereas your sister and dad are basically just putting more fuel on the fire. So it's a tricky part because if you ignore it, it could still affect your life in negative aspects. On the flip side, if you don't ignore it and engage in pointless or meaningless arguments, you further push them away. I'm guessing you still have lots of love for your family. regardless of how dysfunctional they are. Um, the best thing in this case, dude, is just to have some boundaries for yourself. I don't know, have you ever tried talking with them? I'm guessing if this has been going on for years, then talking is not necessarily going to do anything positive. But maybe emphasize your own concerns to both your sister and your dad, because with your dad it's really just like a self-sabotaging sort of thing. um, at least it, I want to say it can get worse, or it could be much worse if, let's say, your dad was drinking, like an excessive alcoholic. Unless it physically gets to a point where both you and your sister and your mom get into trouble or in danger, you can't really do much. It's unfortunately his life choice. In regards to your mom, I'm sorry that the circumstances prevent her from having an easy or easy-ish life. But why not try, let's say, get some extra hours in or do a side hustle? There's trillions of them out there. And like help her out with things. Let's say for a weekend, send her away to like a resort or something, camping or a spa weekend or whatever. So you could still make some significant differences in her life. Um, it's what I'm noticing is in that family, in your family, you and your mom are trying to be the civil ones. However, it's not really working because both of the other two people, well, basically the other two people, have their own ways that are set in stone, and it could get reversed. Don't get me wrong. So every bad habit can be reversed with X amount of time. It's whether they want to reverse this, or is this an acceptable form of living to them? That's the biggest issue. With your sister, I don't necessarily see anything wrong with her actions. So she's not eating meat. She's acting a little bit entitled, true. But if you think about it, she's not doing anything detrimental to harm any one of you. You need to let them know that you have boundaries, and if those boundaries get crossed, then there's certain things that going to happen. And I'm not saying this in a way that go over there and be like, if you don't do this or if you're not changing, then X, Y, and Z. No. Try to portray the issue from your point of view. With your sister, she's entitled. If it doesn't go the way she wants, she's gonna throw a fit. So I'm not sure which age group she is in, but from what I'm guessing, it's more of like a rebellion-ish age group, so 15 to 19 maybe, where teenagers are hard, like genuinely hard in the head. Whatever they think is the way to go. So get your own boundaries across in a polite manner, obviously, and try to say that because this situation has arisen, then both you and your mom are feeling the aftermath of it. So be logical, be rational, bring up the issue in a way that even a toddler can understand it. I'm not saying treat them as children. I'm just saying simplify the issue in such a way that even a child can understand what's going on. Maybe tell them that your mom is severely overworked, that it's going on your mental health, that you are getting bullied at school. So there are multiple things that you can maybe look into to trying out. But standing in one position and I appreciate that you put this on here because I found it, and maybe both the outlaws and the bandits can give you some form of advice. But for me, it's bringing these issues to light in a civil and rational way. So you don't hurt anybody's feelings, but you highlight all the negative things that are going on that may have a detrimental effect on both physical and mental aspects of your life. It's going to be a hard one, sir. So I wish you the best of luck. Just try to keep your cool head.
Help me, 20F, please anyone? I've been extremely stressed and emotional about many things the past 3 weeks. My mom lying about me to my dad and she hates me. School since it's a lot of exams RN and I am struggling with even passing, and friends BC they don't understand the fact that I don't understand things the same way they do, so they've been shit-talking me for overreacting etc. And I gotta take care of my sister BC, her mom doesn't, and I gotta make sure my sister is always fed clean etc. Well now, it's really been paying off the stress I am having. I feel terrible emotionally and was crying my ass off yesterday BC. Literally nobody gives a shit at me except my sister. I was crying and being upset for maybe 4 hours straight, and now I got physically ill. My head hurts more than anything and I feel nauseous and wanting to vomit. I can't eat and sleep. My stomach hurts so much. You don't understand how sick I am RN. I never thought I'd ever get physically ill from stress. I need help to calm it down. I can't focus in school and I feel like I always want to sleep. I slept for 6 hours after I came from school and waking up in continuous pain is freaking me out. I also had some moments in where my vision got blurry and I only saw white. Anyone know how I can fix it? I got exams and siblings to take care of. I can't even breathe properly.
Well, stranger, seemingly you have a rather hard situation right now. There's a few things that I didn't really understand about the story. So you said first that you have a sister that you're looking after. Then you said that your sister's mom. So does that mean that you guys are living with your dad and stepmom? Because this right now is not falling into place. Maybe the way you worded it, but it seems like you guys have different parents on one side or the other. Going back to topic, I'm not sure what happened with that lie about you and your dad and your mom. If you want to reach out, let me know, and maybe we can help out. But yes, stress does get or does do that with a person. So if you're overstressing, the mind has a really interesting way of coping. May that be overthinking, may that be physical stress or manifesting other illnesses. It is real. It is real. So the mind is a tricky thing. So firstly, your main concern is your sister, because I don't have any idea what's going on in your family apart from the issues that you highlighted. Um, Thinking about it, the best course of action. Do you have any other relatives, maybe? This seems dangerous if you are the one going to school, you are the one needing to study, and you are the one looking after your sister or slash siblings. You didn't really specify the siblings, so plural part. But if you're, let's say, the eldest, then you need to take into consideration their well-being. And if you are already the one looking after them without help, that's a major issue. So try and get other relatives involved in this. I don't know how good you are with, let's say, uncles, aunts, grandmas, granddads, um, but it could be a shout to get into contact with one of them, even if it's like a long distance relative. At this point, it's it's much better shot than you stewing in this toxic cesspool. On the other side, with your friends, or it's they can't really know what you are going through because at 20, so maybe I'm guessing your friend group is till about 25ish. Let's just over calculate it a little bit. If they didn't go through these same or at least similar experiences, then you can't really expect them to understand your current situation. However, on the flip side, they should not be bad mouthing you because we are different as people. So maybe what I find offensive, you won't, and vice versa. But to put down somebody because of their issues and not even try and maybe help that person out, think a little bit deep. Do these sound friends to you? What few friends I have, I can always talk about them with everything. Regardless if it's the most stupidest thing in the entire planet and it just came up as a topic, if nothing else, we'll just have a laugh at it. Or really serious issues. They are there to help you, and likewise, you are there to help them. So to get backlash from opening up with your problems, do they really deserve to be called your friends? And maybe you guys live through multiple things, but think about it this way. Would you ever do something like this as a friend to one of your friends? Growing up, my parents and my grandparents taught me a valuable lesson. Treat other people as you want to be treated. And this goes all across the board. So there's no discrimination towards anybody. Treat everybody how you want to get treated. If this does not happen, then what are you doing in that relationship, friendship, family, whatever? I know that with family it's a little bit more tricky because you need to get to a certain age before you can make your own choices or even move out or whatever. But there are child protective services. And I'm saying this as an absolute last resort. If you don't need to, you need your parents. We are hardwired to need our parents. Family is always mandatory and paramount. So to leave them when there's still chances to make things right is a little bit reckless. But in a toxic case where you genuinely need to leave because it has a negative impact on your life and the life around you, then there's nothing more to think about. There's genuinely nothing more to think about. You need to prioritize yourself and your sibling or siblings. If it got to that point where you're the caretaker and you have your own life to live, it's either finding a middle ground with your family, seeking out other relatives, or worst case scenario, child protective services. There are a few options that you can use. I'm really hoping that you guys can repair your issues as a family. I really hope you are all right, and please, if you're reading this or if you ever see this, let me know how things go for you.
Hope you enjoyed today's episode, stranger. If you did, consider joining our band of Outlaws and Bandits. About time I ride off. It seems like they're gaining some ground on me. Until the next time, stranger, try to keep yourself out of trouble.